resultant wave, this means that the resultant wave, this means that the resultant wave, this means that the resultant wave is of higher amplitude. This means that the resultant wave is of higher amplitude. This means that the resultant wave is of higher amplitude. This means that the resultant wave is of higher amplitude. This means that the resultant wave is of higher amplitude. Full stop. Full stop. Pick up the second one, destructive interference. Now, right. Yep. Thank you. Now, right. This type of interference occurs. This type of interference occurs. This type of interference occurs. This type of interference occurs when the two waves. This type of interference occurs when the two waves arrive their point of collision. When the two waves arrive their point of collision. When the two waves arrive their point of collision. When the two waves arrive their point of collision in, when they arrive their point of collision exactly 180 degrees out of phase. 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 Full stop. Full stop. This means that the phase angle is 180 degrees. This means that the phase angle is 180 degrees. This means that the phase angle is 180 degrees. This means that the phase angle is 180 degrees. This means that the phase angle is 180 degrees. This means that the phase angle is 180 degrees. This means that the phase angle is 180 degrees. Done? Full stop. In destructive interference, 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 the two waves cancel out the effect of one another. The two waves cancel out the effect of one another. The two waves cancel out the effect of one another. Cancel out the effect of one another. The two waves cancel out the effect of one another. And hence the resultant wave is of lower amplitude. And hence the resultant wave is of lower amplitude. And hence the resultant wave is of lower amplitude. And hence the resultant wave is of lower amplitude. And hence the resultant wave is of lower amplitude. Have you written that? Good. Oh yeah, let's explain what we have said so far. Let's explain what we have said so far. So we are talking about interference. Class, what did we define as interference? Let's read 1, 2, ready, go ahead. No, wait. Some persons are reading, some persons are not reading. Please, I want you to open your mouth. If not, you will come up here and read it only you. Dear me. Class, what is interference? 1, 2, ready, go ahead.
Interference occurs when two waves of nearly equal frequency or equal frequency are superposed.
No. You don't. Can you? Do you even know how to read? The bracket is for your own consumption. If you are reading it on your own, that bracket is for your own consumption. Please, what is interference? Once already go.
Interference occurs when two waves of nearly equal frequency or equal frequency are superposed.
Auntie Mwabia, come. Yes, come. You know yourself. Come. Yeah? Without working. It's like you were in class and then you forgot yourself. Yeah? I will remind you of yourself. That's nice. Come. Yo. Oh, yeah, take and read interference for us. Open your book. Oh, yeah, read interference.
Interference occurs when two waves of nearly equal or equal frequency are superposed.
Are you happy? You're happy. You want to be here. You want to remain. You want to remain here. You want to go back. Oh, yeah, go and sit down. Class, one more time. What is interference? Want to already go?
Interference occurs when two waves of nearly equal frequency or equal frequency are superposed.
Good. Now, whenever we talk about interference, students normally find it difficult to understand, but I will try as much as possible to explain it to you. Class, forget about the physics aspects. When somebody says interfere, what does interfere mean? English, Kali. In English, what does interfere mean? Someone say prognosing. Okay. Prognosing, Abi. Now, imagine that Mpankechi and Mankechi are fighting as usual. And then, you, as a good neighbor, you decided to come and separate fights. Mankechi, what is happening? And both of them now face you. And now say, do not interfere in this business because it does not concern you. Go and, in fact, they tell you go and marry. Okay? So, is that you coming to settle case? Is it interference? It is interference. Now, bring the same concept to waves. Imagine you have a wave A. This is a wave A. And this wave A was going on its own, minding its own business. And then, another wave B, we have another wave B. Let me draw it such that both of them will collide somehow. We have another wave B coming from maybe here. And this wave B was going like this, going like this, going like this. And suddenly, now jam with A that was minding its own business. So this is called collision of waves. And whenever two waves collide, we call it superposition. We call it what now? We call it superposition. So whenever you hear the word superposition, it means collision of two waves. Collision of getting now two waves. So that is the word superposition. But remember, this is not what we are talking about. We are not talking about superposition. We are talking about interference. And for interference to occur, a condition must be met. A condition must be getting now met. And what is the condition? The two waves, no, not superposition. The two waves that are superposing or colliding must have the same frequency. Must have what now? Must have the same frequency. On a normal, two people can collide without having any business to do with one another. The same thing, two waves can collide without having the same frequency. Now, if they just collide, it is just a simple superposition. But a special case of superposition occurs when the two of them have the same frequency. So if both of them have the same frequency, we now change the name from superposition to interference. Are you with me now? Now, an example. Dream FM Enugu is, what is their channel number? 92.5. Akwea megahertz. Now, that number is actually a frequency. So if I want to listen to Dream FM, for example, I will go there on my radio and tune the radio to 92.5, and I will start hearing whatever they are doing in Dream FM. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dream FM Enugu. And today we are going to be presenting some, what do they even do in Dream FM? What do they do there? A lot of things, music, shows, and so on, right? There's no one particular thing. But one of the things that I actually enjoyed listening to those days in Dream FM was Namen. I like Namen. They still do it now. I don't even know. It's been long I listened to radio. That's the truth. And then, apart from that, there is this program they used to do around 10, 11, those days. Vanessa. No. Lady Vanessa. You know Lady Vanessa? Nobody knows Lady Vanessa. Ah, oh my God. Umaka. Eh? What is it about? Relationship stuff. Okay, so they talk about relationship stuff. So around, I think on Thursdays or Friday, I can't remember the days they normally do those days. Okay, so around that kind, 10, 11, they would do it from around 10, I think 10, 11 to 12 or so. People will be calling Lady Vanessa for relationship advice. Me, I'll just be on my own listening. Hey. Somebody will call and say, hello, ma. My boyfriend did this, did that. And then she will not be like, okay, calm down first. Be an understanding girlfriend. That kind of thing. Me, I'll just be listening. I'll be like, okay, this is nice. The first day, it was just by mistake I stumbled on it. You know, normally, sometimes, those days, I was not sleeping. So I wanted to listen to some music. And then as I was moving through the radio channel, I now came across Lady Vanessa. And then that was how I started enjoying her show. Okay, but you don't think that was far back when I was still, I was younger. Okay, I was younger and then I was trying to understand relationship and all that. But now, you know, concern me. So now what happens? This 92.5 is their frequency. Okay, some of you don't know that, but that is the frequency. Now, if you want to listen, let's say you know Sound City now. Yeah. That one is much more popular because it's music. So you have 91.1. That is their channel frequency. Now, why is it that they assign everybody different frequency? It is because of interference, so that interference does not occur. So Dream FM has 92.5 megahertz. Sound City has 91.1 megahertz. These are different frequencies assigned to those different channels so that interference will not happen. Now, imagine a situation where I want to have my own radio channel, Prime FM. Yes, I want to have Prime FM. And then I now go to the association that used to assign frequencies. And I'll tell them, please, I want to have my channel. And then I say, okay, where is the location? I said, Enugu. I want to use Enugu. And then they now said, okay, what frequency would you like to use? And I said, okay, give me 92.5. Now, it's not going to be possible. They cannot give me 92.5 because Dream FM is already using 92.5 in Enugu. Assuming I was in somewhere like, let's say, US, for example, and 92.5 was vacant in US, I can use 92.5 because the distance between US and Nigeria is extremely far, so the two radio waves cannot interfere. But in the same geographical region, Enugu, for example, I cannot use 92.5. And in particular, because of the antenna that Dream FM has, even when you go to Ebonyi State, you will still hear Dream FM. If you go to Anambra, you will still hear Dream FM. For those of you that travel, if you have traveled to any other part of the southeast, you will see that Dream FM, you will still hear Dream FM there. In fact, sometimes I'll be listening to shows and then somebody will be calling from Lagos. I'll be wondering how are they able to get the channel. Okay? And of course, it's possible because they can actually do port forwarding. That is, publish their ports online so that people can listen to it. So even in America now, because of the technology we have, even in America, we can listen to Dream FM. But you'll be using data instead. That is just it. Now, so what is happening here? Imagine they now decided to give me 92.5 also. So this is Dream FM. Then Prime FM. And they also gave me 92.5 megahertz. Now, what will be the implication on this? The implication is that, let's assume that on a particular day, Dream FM were doing Namen K-Way. And then, On that same particular day, at my own radio station, I was also broadcasting. I said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Prime FM. Today we are going to be giving you news about physics, chemistry, and biology. Okay? Maybe I can work in radio channel. Okay? And then I was giving all this news. And then at Dream FM, they were doing Namen. Now, the implication is that for somebody, an innocent soul somewhere, listening to 92.5, is going to be hearing the two broadcasts at the same time. And that becomes a nuisance. So if you tune to your radio, you'll be hearing, hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Prime FM, Namen, Dream FM. That is what you'll be hearing. So you're going to be hearing both of them because of what we call interference. Because of what we call what now? Interference. So that is why two channels must not be assigned the same frequency. Am I communicating, class? So they must have different frequency. So we now said that there are two types of interference. Constructive and destructive. From the name, you can be able to tell what they are talking about. Constructive, we said that in constructive, they aid each other. What do? They aid. What does aid mean? Help. So they help out one another constructively. That is constructive interference. Then destructive interference, they try to cancel out each other. Now, what is the question that JAM can ask you there? First of all, we have treated the first one. What is the condition for interference? The same word, frequency. The same frequency. So know that one. Then, second question is this. They will ask you, for constructive interference, what is the phase angle? What is the phase angle? And we said phase angle is what now? 0. So remember that when we say that phase angle is 0, it means that the two waves arrive in phase. They arrive in what now? Phase. So when the waves entered, look at their point of collision. Let me just see if I can stretch here. So when the two waves came to their point of collision, wave A entered like this. This is wave A, and this is wave B also. So both of them are in phase. So whatever the first one is doing, second one is also doing. So this means that they are in phase. And we said that because they are in phase, they will aid each other. They will aid each other. So, like, for example, in Pursuit TME question, I think in 2 years ago or so, what did they ask? The question was this. They said, if two waves of amplitude, they said the first one is 3.2 millimeters. Second one is 1.8 millimeters. They said, if two waves of amplitude, 3.2 millimeters and 1.8 millimeter, interfere constructively, they now said, what is the amplitude of the resultant wave? And we say that in constructive interference, the two waves aid each other. So if you see this kind of question, because it is constructive interference, the amplitude of the resultant will be the addition of the two of them. So you add them. Obulu 3.2 plus 1.8. Onyege now 5 millimeters. Because it is constructive interference. Manobu no destructive, it will be minus 3.2 minus gain now 1.8. What should that give us? No, 3.7 kwa. 1.4. 1.4. That becomes 1.4. Because in destructive interference, they come out of phase. So if this is the first wave, the second wave will go 180 degrees out of phase. Class, what is the phase angle in destructive interference? 180. Destructive interference, 180. Constructive, 0. Is that okay now? Good. So that is that. Now, let us move on to the next section. Delum now kwage light waves. Light waves. Are we ready? Oh yeah, let's write. Light waves. They are transverse electromagnetic waves. They are transverse electromagnetic waves. They are transverse electromagnetic what? Waves. They are transverse electromagnetic waves. Class, do you know what that statement means? When I say that light is a transverse electromagnetic wave, what does it mean? It is transverse and also what? Electromagnetic. What does the word transverse mean? It travels perpendicular to its what? Source. And then electromagnetic means what? Does not require material medium for propagation. Abi? Good. Let's continue. Delum now kwage sources of light. Subheading. Sharp, sharp. Time adiro. Sources of light. 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 Are we there? Sources of light. Sources of light. Sources of light can be grouped into two. Namely, sources of light can be grouped into two. Namely, luminous sources. Luminous sources. Number two, non-luminous sources. Number two, non-luminous sources. Number one, luminous sources. Number two, non-luminous sources. Are we there? Number two, non-luminous sources. Now let's pick up the first one, luminous sources. Luminous sources. Luminous sources. Luminous sources. Ready? Now right. These are sources which produce or emit their own light. These are sources which produce or emit their own light. These are sources which emit or produce their own light. These are sources which emit or produce, anyone, both of them, their own getting now light. Example. Sun. Is it sun or sun? Nkopuna. Anwu de na akwaga anwu. Fireflies. 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 Stars. Stars. Candles. Street lights. Bulbs. etc. Bulbs, etc. Bulbs, etc. Full stop. Pick up the second one, sharp, sharp. Pick up the second one. Non-luminous sources. These are sources which do not produce or emit their own light. These are sources which do not produce or emit their own light. These are sources which do not produce or emit their own light. These are sources which do not produce or emit their own light. Are we there? Which do not produce or emit their own light. Which do not produce or emit their own light. Which do not produce or emit their own light. Full stop. Full stop. Example. Okay, before the example. Now, right. Instead, they reflect light from other sources. 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 Idegia now. Full stop. Example. Example. We have the moon, comma. We have a human being. Human being. Comma. We can just say generally all opaque objects. And generally all opaque objects. And generally all opaque objects. So any opaque object you can see is an example of non-luminous object. Idegia now. Okay, so class, we are talking about sources of light. We said that the sources of light is grouped into what and what? Into what? Good. It is not luminous. It is luminous. Yeah. It is, so we have luminous source and non-luminous sources. Class, what did we say luminous sources are? Want to ready go? The choir was not organized. Let's go again. Want to ready go? Again. Okay, so we said that luminous sources are those sources that produce or emit their own light. We gave examples. What are our examples there? We have sun, firefly. You know fireflies, ba? Are you sure? You don't know fireflies? Please go for excursion to those areas that are bushy in the night. Okay, those bushy areas, especially during rainy season. Okay, a busy dry season. You know biology, you should know better. Okay, so you see all those flies used to fly at night. They'll be shining lights. They are called fireflies. What do you call it in Igbo? Electric. Keya na akpọ ya n'Igbo. Ijiji ọkụ. Okay, and then you have stars, right? Okay, now somebody might be surprised. I can't do street lights, bulbs. Where are they here? Now, when you say luminous sources, it can be natural or artificial. It can be what now? Good. The key point is, does it emit its own light? Yes. Once it is able to emit its own light, forget about whether it is artificial or natural. So, if I put on a candle, will it start emitting light? Yes. If I put on the street light, will it start emitting light? Yes. What about the bulbs? Yes, they will emit light. That is why they are called luminous sources. Huh? Good. So this is what our examples are. Class, among all these things, which one is the most important source of light? Good. Now, I cannot start. It be like say that person don't to see star. Okay? You know there's a kind of slap they will slap the sisters. Okay? Now, amongst all these things, the sun is the most important. In fact, apart from light, the sun is the reason why we are alive. Why are you alive? No, forget about the sun. Why are you alive? Because you are eating, Abi? Shebi, you are eating. Why are you alive? If you stop eating, will you continue to live? Some of you that can never even do 6 to 12. As you give me 6 to 12, by 11 like this, you will lie down on the ground as if you want to die. Okay? So you see that without food, you are going to die. What is the maximum number of days or time that humans can stay without food? 40 days. 40 days and 40 nights. Is it because your Lord Savior did not eat for 40 days and 40 nights? That's why you now said it's 40 days. No, now. No. See, let me tell you. let me tell you, you cannot compare yourself to Jesus Christ. Okay? Yes, even though he was in human form, he was still filled with the Holy Spirit. Abi? Good. So, he can even go further if he wanted. But you and I, let's reason together. Okay? Let me not say on average. Kanjuke negua. You. How long can you stay without food? The truth. Wait, no noise. No noise. Yes? So how long can you stay without food? That once you stay, issue. Like she said, like 4 to 5 hours. So if she does not eat in like 4 hours, 5 hours, while I go there. Yes? Okay, you want to say something? Your own is 1 hour. If we're on here, 1 hour. 2 days. You can say 2 days. Have you stayed 2 days before? Without eating? Dry fasting. Well, that's nice. That's nice. The dry fasting, were you drinking water? Did you eat and nothing entered your mouth? You did not even brush. Wait, you did not brush. You brushed. So water entered your mouth. Calm down. Calm down. Now, listen up. Listen. Of course, you might not have the opportunity to test yourself. Bia, auntie. Hey, that lady. Bia. Can you sit again? At the back. Oh, yeah, go there and sit down now. Now, as I was saying, before I was rudely interrupted, we probably don't have the opportunity to test our limits. Because everybody has limits. Everybody has limits. Okay? So, imagine the sun stops shining. You see that there will be famine everywhere. Somebody will be like, how? You know that it is the sun that helps plants to produce their food, Abi? Yeah. Photosynthesis, Shebi? Good. Now, these plants will produce their food or their nutrients and get fresh. If you go to your garden, you will see your ogo or you see your green, very fresh. You'll be like, I want to cook soup. Ibelia, you go and cook soup. Or apart from that, you might be rearing chicken and goats and sheep and all that. And they will eat some of your vegetables to be fresh. Once those your animals become fresh, you will see them and also get attracted to them. This goat is growing out of proportion. It is time for pepper soup, for barbecue. Okay? And then you will now remove that goat from existence. Yes. Do you know we are cruel as human beings? We are not cruel, right? Guy, do you see how we kill animals? Just because God said, I give you dominion over all animals. Imagine God did not make that statement. Me and you for be cattle, for lion. Lion will just be rearing us. Chicken will be rearing me and you. The way we are picking up chicken now for Xmas, they'll be picking us up. This one is fresh. Let's take this one. Okay? So, imagine the sun stop shining. First of all, in that food chain, who will die first? The plants will die. The plants will start dying. And once they start dying, next, your livestock don't have anything to eat, Shebi. They will die next. And once your livestock finish dying, your plants finish dying, who is next in line? You, right? You, right? You, good. Now, you will start dying. You will start dying. Now, that is when you will now see survival of the fittest. Because people will start eating people. Is it not true? When there's no food, people will start eating people. Okay? Your parents will say, invite that your friend over. Hey, when that one start happening, just don't go and visit anybody because you might be food for the next 2 weeks. Okay? So, or maybe the strongest of people, for example, that's Kiss Daniel's bodyguard. We now pack all of us and lock us inside one cage and be collecting us one. And be like, okay, this one is about to die. Let's sorry. Okay? Okay. You know, have you ever maybe read chicken before? Or maybe you have someone that has read. You know, you see that if you are in the chicken business, you see that sometimes a season will come, your chicken will start dying. I remember those days I was living with one of my uncles that used to rear chicken. I used to like that period very well because we'll be eating chicken. Sometimes, in fact, there was a time that he started bringing in veterinary doctors so that they will stop dying. So we will be pronouncing death. We might come and see one of the chicken will just be one place. Be like, nka choge. We'll collect it and then go and hazier the thing. Go now. So that is what would happen if the sun stopped shining. So don't pray for it to happen. Don't pray for it to happen. So these are our examples of luminous sources. Then on the other hand, we have non-luminous. What did we say non-luminous are? Yes? They are sources that do what? What do they do instead? They reflect light from other sources. That is the key word here. Okay? So in JAM, they will ask you, when they ask you questions about non-luminous source, the key word is that they reflect light from other what now? Sources. So they don't produce their own light. They don't emit their own light. They reflect light from other sources. Example is getting now. Moon. Somebody be like, uncle, moon used to shine at night. Yes, moon shines at night, but the light that is being shown, is it shown? Shone. The light that is being shined beats me. The light that is being shined by the moon is not emitted by the moon. It is just a reflection. Now, you know that if this is your earth now, for instance, the sun is somewhere here. This is the sun. And then your moon is probably here. Now, those people facing the sun, we have day. Abi? And those people not facing the sun, we have what? Night. So, Keta now, we are facing the sun. Akuya? In the night, we will now rotate and stay on the other side. We will now be seeing, we will no longer be seeing the sun. Now, but the sun is constantly shining, whether it is night or day. So, as the sun is shining, look at what is happening. The light from the sun will reach the moon and get reflected on the night side. That is how we now see the moon shining. The moon has come out. That is why it happens. Do we understand that, class? Good. So, what else? We have human being. So, human beings, we don't emit. Do you see anybody emitting light? Yes. Okay? Even though the Bible says we are the light of the world, it is not the bulb lights. It is not that one. Okay? The kind of light that we are is what? Which kind of light are we? Spiritual light. No. It's not spiritual light. If I ask you, are you a Christian? What would you answer? Yes. Are you a Christian? Yes. Good. If you are a Christian, your life should show that you are a Christian. Okay? Your life should show you what? You are a Christian. That is the light that you are. For example, as a Christian, you are supposed to love your neighbor, Abi? As yourself. You are supposed to love your neighbor as yourself. And then you come to lesson. When you come to lesson, your friend is still in their house. Is Otaloda your friend, Doche? Then, Onye nke biazi n'oge a na-achọ oche. Ịkpọ onwe gị Christian. Are we not Christians? Okay? So that is it. Now, so we are not luminous sources. We are not luminous sources. We don't emit light. We are non-luminous. So we now said that instead of listing out all the examples, we said generally all opaque objects. You know what opaque objects means, right? Meaning objects that don't allow light to what? Pass through them. So for example, this board is an example. It is a non-luminous object because it does not emit what? Light. And so on. Everything you can see. The pulpit, the speaker, the wall, the ceiling, everything. Okay. Before we move on, let's answer some of these questions. Uncle, if sun stop shining, Shebi? Oh my God. It's like you are chatting. You know, some of you have integrated chatting into your daily life. The way you chat is the same way you write English. Uncle, if sun stop shining, Shebi we go turn albino. Or we go shine like Snow White. That is a very stupid question. Okay? Uncle, it's the same person, no? Uncle, if sun stop shining, Shebi will become albino or worse than albino. Now, what is the answer to that question? What is the answer to that question? What is the answer to that question? Yes or no? If the now listen up. Those born in US and those born in Africa, Nigeria, for instance. Let's use US and Nigeria. Okay? So, if they born you for a year now, and your parents are black, and they born you from here, automatically, what till your skin color go be? White. How? Now, even if your parents are black, and they go and give birth to you in US, you are still black. Okay? You are still going to be black. Now, if you bring American parents to Nigeria, and then they give birth to their child here, the child is going to be white. Now, shut up your mouth, Osiso. What will happen? The Nigeria color will change it. Now, what will happen is that maybe with time, that whiteness will start darkening. With time, like 2 times. That skin will start darkening. It would happen. Okay? It happens. So, over a very long time, the skin will darken based on the intensity of the sun. Okay? Now, do you know that we are not even dark in Nigeria? Do you know we are not dark in Nigeria? We are fair. We are very fair. Go to Eastern Africa, Kenya. Go to Kenya. Go to Ethiopia. You will see black. You see, when they call black people, you are white. Those people are Kiwi. You know Kiwi polish. Now, so those people, they Kiwi. So when you look at yourself, please tell yourself that you are white. Tell yourself that you are white. In fact, if you go there, let's say Ethiopia, or you go to Kenya, and then you go and say something like nigger, my nigger, they will arrest you because you are a racist. Okay? Because, you know, nigger, saying nigger is a racist word, right? Do you even know? You don't know because you there Nigeria. My nigga, shake. You know what? Shake. Come on here. My nigga. Now, if you go abroad and say this, my nigga, unless you are saying it to a black person, but if a white person says it to a black person, it is problem, racist. So if you now, for example, that you feel you are black, you go to Kenya and now go and say, ha, my nigga. They'll be like, you're a racist. So they might even want to arrest you because they are blacker than you. Yes, they are blacker than you. Please, translucent object, luminous or non-luminous. Now, when you talk about whether an object is luminous or non-luminous, it is not really about their transmissibility of light. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, when you talk about whether an object is luminous or non-luminous, non-luminous means that it does not emit its own word, light. We are not referring to whether it allows light to pass through it or not. So when you talk about translucent, what is translucent? It only allows a small amount of light to pass through. That is what translucent means. Can you see that translucent object? Yes, you can still see it, meaning that it still reflects what? Light. So if we have a translucent material and it allows only some part of light to pass through it and reflect some, because it's still reflecting light, we can still see it. And because of that, it is still what? Not translucent, non-luminous. Sir, why does the moon shine half? Please, we are not doing geography. Okay? Now, remember that. Okay, let me just quickly answer that. Remember that the moon is also revolving now. The moon is also revolving. Okay? And as the moon is revolving, it is at different angles. So the angle you are seeing the moon at will tell how big or how clear it will look like to you. So depending on the time of the month, the moon might be at different locations. So depending on the angle of view you are seeing the moon, that would tell how the moon will appear. Okay, for example, there are some places you will be. Maybe you will be in Nigeria, for example. The moon will be looking something like this because of your angle. If you go to US, because of the change in the angle, the moon might look bigger like this. You might go to maybe the Bahamas. You would like to go to the Bahamas, right? Do you even know where Bahamas is? The only place you know is Obiago. Okay, now there's a place you will go to, the moon will be full. So it all depends on your angle of view, the angle at which you're viewing it. Uncle, please, why is the moon not reflecting during the day? It is a very simple question. Okay? It's a very, very simple question. Now, remember we said that this is where we are during the day. Now, looking at this now, do you think the moon is visible here? If you are anywhere here now, do you think the moon is visible to you? It's not visible. Now, even if there are some areas where the moon will be visible. For example, if you are close to the poles, the moon might be visible during the day, but not as bright as when it is at what? At night. So, if you are here, for example, you will not see the moon during the day. But if you maybe go to near the poles, you might be seeing the moon during the day. It's just like owning your bulb. Let's say your torch now, outside like this. Now, it will touch like this. Now, that torch is on, Abi? Good. But does the light from that torch affect anything? That is the same thing. Okay? So even though the moon is still out there now, as we are speaking, because the sun is much more brighter, it doesn't affect it. But at night, since we are now at the back, we can now see the full light of the moon. We'll still answer this one later. This is calculation. Now, let's continue. So now that we have talked about this, rectilinear propagation of light. Rectilinear propagation of light. Rectilinear. Rectilinear propagation of light. Rectilinear propagation of light. Uncle, please, is mirror a luminous or non-luminous object? It is non-luminous now. Mirror does not emit light. What does it do? It reflects light. It is non-luminous. Sir, why does moon follow us? Huh? Why does moon follow us? Okay? So things are actually moving in our solar system. The earth is revolving. Sure you know. Do you know the sun is the earth is revolving? Good. The moon is also revolving. So as we are moving, the moon is also moving. Eh? So it's not like it's following us. We are following each other. Idego rectilinear propagation of light. Oh, yeah, right. This is the theory that supports. This is the theory. This is the theory. This is the theory. This is the theory that supports the assumption. This is the theory that supports the assumption that light travels on a straight line. This is the theory that supports the assumption that light travels on a straight line. This is the theory that supports the assumption that light travels on a straight line. This is the theory that supports the assumption that light travels on a straight line. This is what? The theory that supports the what? Assumption that light travels on a straight line. Full stop. Some of the evidence of the rectilinear propagation of light include some of the evidence that supports. Sorry. How did I even say? Some of the evidence that do what? Eh? That supports the what? Assumption. Some of the evidence that support the assumption. Eh? Okay, some of the evidence of rectilinear propagation. It will not cause a problem. Eh? You will not read these notes. Will you read it? Shebi, you don't write that in where we talk. They include. Okay, let me go back. Who has written it? Some of the evidence of the rectilinear propagation of light include. Some of the evidence of the rectilinear propagation of light include. Have you written that now? Include. Number 1, formation of shadows. Formation of shadows. Formation of shadows. Shadows of the evening. Shadows of the evening. Formation of getting now. Shadows. Number 2. Number 2. Formation of eclipse. Formation of eclipse. Eclipse is coming. Eclipse is coming. Coming. Have you written that? Number what now? Number 3. Image formation by pinhole camera. Image formation by pinhole camera. Image formation by pinhole camera. Pinhole camera. Pinhole camera. Pinhole camera is the first camera. Have you written that? Good. Now, before we continue, let's look at more questions. When will a torchlight, Uncle, when a torchlight is pointed to the sky at night, what happens? See wala. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. So I should use as generative AI where I be now. I will now use my head and complete the statement. Okay. Ha. Please ask your question very well and let's know. Sir, please, as I'm black now. Okay. If I travel to US or UK, will their weather condition change my color because my classmate that went there 3 years ago is now fairer than me? This question is purely jealousy. Jealousy mado. Okay? Now, listen up. Your color will not change. Your color is not going to change. It doesn't change your color. But of course, you might be fresher. You might be looking more fresh. Okay? Like alquanity in a fridge. Okay? So you might be looking fresher, but your color, you will still be black. Okay? Uncle, please, what causes eclipse of the moon and sun? We are going to talk about that. Okay. Now, Oyamo Madagente, what do you think is the meaning of rectilinear propagation of light? It means that light travels on a straight line. It means that what? On a straight line. So when you hear the word rectilinear, it means straight line. So rectilinear propagation of light. It means that light travels on again and now straight line. Now, but you know that one thing about science is this. One of the mottos of science is that we cannot believe unless we see. They play the show. So if you tell us something in science, you must give us a proof and evidence to show that this is what it looks like. It is totally different from religion. We are religious people, we are Christians, and because of that, we have faith and beliefs. Abi? Good. And you know that everything in our faith or in our religion is purely based on faith. For example, we believe that Jesus Christ died for our sin. Is it not true? Were you there? No. You were not there. You were not there, but you believe. Okay? You believe that God created the universe. God created the earth, according to the book of Genesis chapter 1, right? We believe that. And we also believe that Jesus Christ is coming again to come and carry us to paradise. Right? You don't believe that one? Oh, no, not everybody believes that Jesus is coming again. I don't understand. Wait. Okay, some persons don't believe that Jesus is coming again. Please, you don't believe that Jesus is coming again? Raise up your hand. You don't believe he's coming again? You don't believe he's coming again? Jehovah's Witness. Even Jehovah's Witness believe. So, these are our beliefs as Christians. But if you were talking to a scientist does not believe. A scientist does not say something and just believe it. A scientist will say something and would want to prove it. So imagine as a Christian, you were talking to a scientist and an atheist. And the atheist now says, make me believe that Jesus died for us. Make me believe that Jesus died for us. Can you do that? I'll say yes. So, no. Yes. Yes. Can you prove it? Oh yeah, talk to me. She wants to say something. Yes, talk to me. Eh? Okay. Bible verse, okay? A Bible verse. Okay, but you can prove to me that Jesus actually died. Okay? Then what if the atheist comes with the fact that the Bible was written by humans? That what if they were purely writing it based on their own knowledge and understanding? Mm-hmm. Okay, so what will you do to the atheist? Is he Ajebe? So you will not want to convert that soul. You will not convert them. Okay. Well, that is just it. Okay. That is the major differences between religion and science. Okay. Now, we are not going to delve deep into that. We're not doing that. That is not what we are doing. Now, but what am I telling you in essence? Science said that light travels on a straight line. That is what science said. Now, and from what science said, they gave us a proof that light actually travels on a straight line. And those proofs, I gave them to you. The first one, the second one, and the third one. So we are going to explain those proofs and see how they actually show that light travels on a straight line. What was the first one again? Formation of what now? Shadows. Second one is what? Formation of eclipse. Third one is what? Pinhole camera. So these are the three evidence to show that light travels on a straight line. Pick up the first one. Formation of shadows. Formation of shadows. Formation of shadows. Okay, is it possible for the moon to be on the same side? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about eclipse. So I noticed that the shadow of a medicated glass has something like light by the side of the lens, but just normal glasses does not have that light. Please, what causes it? We are going to explain that, okay? We explain that. We explain that. Now, let's continue. The first one, what is the first one, class? Formation of shadows. Oh, yeah, right. 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 When an opaque object obstructs the movement of light, comma, when an opaque object obstructs the movement of light, comma, when an opaque object obstructs the movement of light, comma, when an opaque object obstructs the movement of light, comma, the light casts a shadow of the object. The light casts the shadow of the object. The light casts the shadow of the what now? Object. Full stop. Full stop. Full stop. The sharpness of the shadow, the sharpness of the shadow, the sharpness of the shadow, the sharpness of the shadow depends on the intensity of light. 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 Full stop. Full stop. Depends on the intensity of light. Full stop. In order to eliminate shadows, 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 light sources, please, light sources are placed at different, light sources are placed at different points. 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 Have you written that? Full stop. Light sources are placed at different points. Full stop. Omo mmadụ ngwa gee ntị. Enwe onye nọ na class a na-enwero shadow. Don't say yes, so. Don't say yes, okay? Because you should know the meaning of the yes you said. Is there anybody in this class that does not have shadow? You don't have shadow. You don't have shadow. That's nice. That's nice. Okay. She said she does not have shadows. That means that she is a ghost. Yeah, a ghost. Asukwa, yes. I reject it for you because you play a lot. Yes, let me get the question. Okay. Now, whenever we have shadow, have you ever asked yourself, why do we have shadow? In fact, when I was very small, I used to even play with my shadow. Sometimes, well, I remember one day I tried catching my shadow. Did you ever try that? Yes. Oh, you tried it? Yes. So you mumu like me that time? Oh, you mumu like me? Yes. Now, what happened? I tried catching my shadow. I'll be like, okay, I'll just wait. Do I have? Oh, I have shadow here. Look at it though. I'll just yes, it's on the board. Now there was one particular day my shadow was on the floor, so I was like this. Okay, I wanted to catch the shadow, and then I dived it. The shadow dived also. Okay, so the question is, why do we have shadows? The answer is we are opaque objects. We are what now? Are you an opaque object? Yes. You are not transparent. Transparent means that you are a spirit. Why can you not see spirits? Spirits are transparent. For crying out loud. Okay? So you cannot see it. So, if we have you now, this is you, and then you have, this is a light source. As an opaque object, you are obstructing the straight line movement of the light. And because of that, the light will cast a shadow of you on the ground. So that is how a shadow is formed. And nothing would happen. Just like what happens in your windshield. You know vehicle windshields now? You know they are very, very transparent. Okay? Now, even though they look very, very transparent, in calculations, they are not perfectly transparent. Because you will still see little shadows of them. But perfectly transparent materials don't have a single shadow. You will not see it. But we can approximate that windshield. Or maybe the surface of clear water. Have you ever been to the pool before? Okay. Now, have you ever been to the pool before? Now, if you go to the swimming pool, you see that because of the clarity of the water, that water is very, very transparent. And because it is very transparent, you can see the bottom very, very clearly. Now, in your chemistry, what do they normally add to that water to make it very clear? You don't know. Alum. I beg, I've given up on you. Okay, where are the other questions I got now? Okay. No, this is not it. Where are the questions I got now? Eh? Here? I've answered these ones now. Uncle, is it true that if the sun stops shining, completion will be... Eh? Uncle, is it true that if the sun stops shining, your complexion will be sky onion green? I don't understand. Which one is sky onion? I've never had that kind of color before. Sky onion green. Sky onion green. Which color is that? Like a mixture of sky, onion, and... I don't know. I was explaining something here. So I said that shadows are formed. Shadows are formed when an opaque object obstructs the movement of light. As simple as that. Now, what are the questions that JAM can ask you? Now, JAM can ask you, how do we eliminate shadows in maybe in news halls or theaters and all that? How can shadows be eliminated? And we said that it is eliminated by placing light at different what? How did we write it? At different what now? Points. So class, Imagine that if we have a light source here, and this light source produces a shadow on this side. How do I eliminate this shadow? If I put another light source here, you see that it is going to shine on the shadow to eliminate it, right? Good. So that is how we eliminate what shadows. By having different light sources at different points. As simple as that. You go to your studio where you normally take pictures. You normally observe that they normally have enough light. Why do they have that enough light in the studio? To remove those words shadow. Okay? And also produce a sharp what? Image. So that it poses now. But you remember they say don't judge anybody by their studio picture. Right? Is it true? Don't judge anybody by studio picture. Uncle, please, if the water is transparent, why is it ocean blue? Leave me alone, please. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me. Yes? Yes? Question. Is it ocean blue that you want to ask? Oh, yeah, ask your question. How do human beings reflect light? We are opaque objects. Okay? When light falls on you, does it pass through your body? No. So it is either it passes through or is reflected. That is bouncing back. So it does not pass through and enter your body. It is bouncing back. So that bouncing back is the reflection. Because you are a surface, so it will reflect the light back. That is how we can now see you. Okay? Uncle, what is added to water to make it clear? In the case of pools, they add chlorine. Now, the chlorine is not only for germs. I know you know that it is for removal of the germs. Now, but the chlorine also helps to make it what? Keep it clear. Okay? What is it called? That alum that somebody said. Alum is for coagulation. You know what that means, right? What is coagulation? So that all the deaths will cluster to one place now. You understand? Do you understand that? So if you put alum inside bucket of water now, what will it do? You see that it will, all the impurities and all that will come and settle and stay one place. That is what is it. Sir, what is the physics behind multiple shadows? If you have multiple shadows, it means that there are multiple light sources. As simple as that. Or the light is coming in at different angles. So if I stand here now, I have multiple shadows. Like there is one going this way that is not very clear. There is another one here. Because there are lights coming in at different angles. Light is coming in like this. Light is coming in like this. Light is coming in from the door. That is what you have there. Uncle, since we are opaque objects, then why does X-ray pass through our body to detect fracture of joint? Now, X-rays can pass through our body because of their low, what is it called? No, not penetration power. Because of their low wavelength. They have a very, very small wavelength. So their tiny wavelength enables them to penetrate the human body or the human skin. Okay? But it is not enough for them to penetrate the bone. That is why they are absorbed by the word bone. Uncle, is it possible that there is not sun? Uncle, is it possible that when there is not sun, mutation might occur? I don't know. Don't ask me. Now let's continue, I beg. What is the next evidence, please? Formation of eclipse. Let's write. Formation of eclipse. 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 Ready? Formation of eclipse. 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 Are you ready? Formation of eclipse. Now, right. An eclipse is formed. An eclipse is formed. An eclipse is formed. An eclipse is formed when the three planetary bodies, in brackets, sun, earth, and the moon, when the sun, earth, and moon are perfectly aligned, when the sun, earth, and the moon are perfectly aligned, are perfectly aligned, are perfectly aligned, are perfectly aligned. Have you done that? Are perfectly aligned, are perfectly aligned. That is on a straight line. 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 Full stop. Full stop. Full stop. Okay, now somebody asked me, Uncle, why is our shadow normally short at day and tall during the night? Now, the length of your shadow depends on the light coming in. Depends on where the light is or where you are relative to the light coming in. So what do I mean by that? If you look at this shadow, my shadow that is on the board, if you look at this, if I move more away from the lights, now, even though the board is kind of, how do I put it? Stopping it because there is no other space to move in. If I move away from the light source, as I'm moving away from the light source, my shadow will be getting longer as I'm going. As I'm coming closer to the light source, try it out when you get home this night. Do the experiment. The closer you are to the light source, the shorter your shadow. Then as you are moving away, the shadow will go. Have you ever observed that thing before? Good. The shadow will be getting longer. The same thing will happen if I keep you one place and move the light source. So if I move the light source closer to you, your shadow will become shorter. If I move it further away from you, it will become what? Longer. So in the case of day and night, during the day, you see that, well, like I said, it depends on where you are. Okay? It depends on where you are. Let's say it's around maybe that kind 12. You know, around 12, your shadow is the shortest around that time. Why? The length of your shadow by maybe 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m. is different from the length of your shadow at 12. Then at 12, it will be almost at you, where you are, because the sun is almost overhead. Are you with me? Then from 1, in fact, that is how they even tell time sometime those days. So from 1, 2, 3, it will be going like this on this side, getting longer and so on. So it all depends on where the light is relative to you. Now let's continue. We have written what an eclipse is. There are two types of eclipse. There are two types of eclipse. There are two types of eclipse. There are two types of eclipse, namely solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. 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 Namely solar eclipse and lunar what? Eclipse. Full stop. Oh yeah, pick up the first one. Solar eclipse. Solar eclipse. Solar eclipse. Are we there? Solar eclipse. Now, right. This occurs occurs, this occurs when the moon is between the sun and the earth. This occurs when the moon is between the sun and the earth. This occurs when the moon is between the sun and the water, earth. Full stop. Because of the small size of the moon compared to the earth, because of the small size of the moon compared to the earth, because of the small size of the moon compared to the earth, the entire earth is not obstructed. 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 The entire earth is not what? Obstructed. The entire earth is not obstructed. Full stop. This means that some regions will experience total darkness. This means that some regions will experience total darkness. This means that some regions will experience total darkness. In brackets, umbra. In bracket, umbra. UMBRA. Some regions will experience total darkness. In bracket, umbra. Have you written that? While some region will experience partial darkness. Partial darkness. In bracket, penumbra. Some regions will experience total darkness. In bracket, umbra. While some regions will experience partial darkness. In bracket, penumbra. Have you written that? In brackets, penumbra. Full stop. Have you done that? Have you done that? Good. Okay, now class, let's explain what we have said so far before I leave the class. And maybe when we come back, we'll attend to some of these questions. Okay, so I will just drop this with somebody. Who would I drop it with? Okay, so you hold it. Next class, we attend to them. Now, let's explain this. So we are talking about eclipse. So class, we said that eclipse occurs when the planetary bodies are perfectly aligned. What does that mean? This is the sun. This is the moon. Class, the sun and the earth, which one is bigger? Which one is bigger? Are you sure? Are you sure? How? If you look at it, does it not look small? It's bigger. How is it bigger? We believe. You believe that one. Okay. Now, let's see. So we have sun, moon, and we have earth here. Now, okay, let me remove the moon here first. Now, we know that the moon is going around the earth. The moon is going around the earth. Now, and earth is also going around the sun. You see that as this motion is happening, as the moon is going around the earth, and the earth is also going around the sun, there is a possibility that one day, that all of them will be on a straight line. What do I mean by that? One day you will see something like this. Sun will be here. And the earth is somewhere here. You see that all of them, are they on a straight line now? Good, because the moon has probably moved to this side now. The moon is now here. So you see that they are on a straight line. Now, if this happens, you see that the light coming from the sun will not reach the earth. because the moon is blocking it. True or false? That is what will happen. Okay? So the light will not reach the earth. This is what we call an eclipse, because somebody has blocked another person from receiving light. Another thing that can happen is that sun is here, earth is here, and the moon is here. You see that instead of the light to reach the moon, earth will obstruct it again. So somebody is obstructing somebody from receiving light. This is also an eclipse. That is why we say we have two types of eclipse. What and what class? Solar and lunar. So JAMB will ask you, when does a solar eclipse occur, or when does a lunar eclipse occur, or how does it occur? So we said that a solar eclipse occurs when who is at the middle class? Moon. When moon is in between the sun and the what now? Earth. So Obun and moon being on etiti. If moon is the one at the middle, then it is called a solar eclipse. Then Obun at the earth is the one in the middle. Then this one is called lunar what now? Eclipse, or eclipse of the moon. This one is also called eclipse of the sun, because the moon is between the sun and the earth. Class, do we understand that? Now, looking at these two types of eclipse, if the eclipse of the moon is happening, we will not know. Will we? Where are we here? We are inside here. Shabi? This is where we are. If eclipse of the moon is happening, we will not know, because we'll be receiving light normally. The only problem is that if you were on the moon, you will not see the light from the sun. And then, this one, if this one is happening, we will surely know. Shabi? Because the light will not be reaching us. Something will be blocking it. That is what solar eclipse is. Have you ever experienced a solar eclipse in your life? No, right? No, right? Good. I have actually experienced one. Now, solar eclipse does not occur. It occurs after a very long time. Okay, it takes time to occur in the same location again. Like the last one I experienced was the one that happened in 2006. I know you were not born by then. Okay, the people in this class should be 2006, 5, and 4. No, 2004 is here. 2004 is 20 years, right? Okay, 2005, 19, 2006 is 18. Abi? Okay. Do we have people born in 2006 here? Akwa Hajuleju. 2005, are they here? Akwa Hajuleju. Okay? Now, if you were born in 2006, of course, you wouldn't know because you were a baby. If you were born in 2005, you would not know. You were still a baby. You were born in 2004, you are still a baby. You probably not know. You are not even aware. You are still eating biscuit here. Okay? Then maybe if you were born in 2002, you are 4 years, so you might, it is a probability. Okay? I can still remember when I was 4 actually. Yes, I remember. Do you remember? Yeah. Because you are not even paying attention to yourself that time. Okay? But I was actually paying attention to myself that time. Okay? So, but, okay, if someone is 6 years by then, the person should know. 6 years should know, Abi? Good. But in that 2006, I was still in primary school. Yes, I was still in primary school. Okay? That was the last time I experienced a solar eclipse. Now, someone told me that it occurred more recently, I think 2018 or 19 or so. But I was not aware of that one. The one I was aware of is the one that happened in 2006. Okay? Now, in that 2006, in fact, when you go home, when you are discussing with your parents, ask them about it. Mommy, can you tell me about the eclipse in 2006? Let them tell you a story. Okay, some of you discuss with your parents. That should be one of the story. Okay? That time, even though I was little, I was paying attention to what was happening. Okay? Because days before it happened, they were announcing it. Anywhere you go, anywhere you are walking to, you will be hearing them saying it. That solar eclipse is going to happen. No. They were now selling some glasses. They were selling some glasses. They said that if, Nigeria will use the opportunity to make money. Okay? that if you don't wear the glass, if you look up to the sky, you will get blind. That was a story. That was actually true. Okay? If you look at the solar eclipse, you might damage your eye. Not if you look at it for a very long time, you will damage your eye. Okay? Now, so they were selling a piece of glass to everybody to buy. I remember that my mom actually bought for all of us in the house then. She bought for all of us. She loves her children very much now. She does not want anything. She does not want to confirm whether it is true or not. Her own is eyeglass. Okay? So she got eyeglass for all of us. And then on the day it was supposed to happen, I remember I was in class that day. Before then, our teacher was even telling us, because we were asking, that, auntie, we have been hearing people saying that this is going to happen. What does that mean? Our auntie then told us that it means that Jesus is coming. That was what she told us. She said we should be doing good things so that Jesus will come and carry us and go to heaven. And that thing entered my head though. I started doing good things. Okay, I started doing good things. I will come to school. I will share my food. Okay? In fact, like I would just be doing anything I feel was nice those days so that Jesus will carry me and go. Okay? So on that particular day it was supposed to happen, we're in class learning as usual. And all of a sudden, it was around, I think 11 or 12, because everywhere was bright. And then all of a sudden, everywhere started becoming dark as if it wanted to rain. But the weather did not change. So our auntie now told us that it is time that we should come out. We should come out. So the people that have eyeglass now, because if you don't have eyeglass, you will stay back. Okay? You stay back. Now, they said that if you don't have eyeglass, those days, they said if you don't have eyeglass, you should bring basin and pour water inside. How did you hear that story? It means you were there. Go and marry. Go and marry. If you are there, go and marry. Okay? So, they said you should bring basin and then pour water inside and see the reflection. Okay? So, but we get eyeglass now. And then we went outside, wore our eyeglass, and we're looking up to the sky. Like we're seeing the moon moving, covering the sun. And then after a while, it now moved away. As I was watching it, my best friend then, Ima, also came out. I was like, Ima, can you no bikono? Let me watch, please. I was not like, but if I remove it, I will get blind now. I'll go blind. She was like, I closed my eye. You close your eye also. I now say, okay, let me give you. I now close my own eye and gave him to watch for like 1 minute. I said, yeah, give me. Okay? That was how we watched it. And after watching for like 5 minutes, I think it lasted for around 7 minutes or so. And after that, the whole place became clear again. And then we're now like, auntie, Jesus did not take us. Jesus did not take us. And she now said, let's go back to class. Jesus is coming back. That Jesus has carried many people. That Jesus will come back. Okay? Till today, Jesus has not come to carry me. Okay? I was ready those days. Now I'm not ready. Okay? In fact, my prayer is, I want to have a family first. I want to get money. Jesus cannot come now and come and carry the word. I want to have money first. First, have my own family. I want to be a baller. Then maybe when I'm getting to 67, 70, Jesus can now come. That time. Yes. Now. So that is what? The solar eclipse. That is the solar eclipse. But the lunar eclipse can occur frequently. Like I said, if it is happening now, we don't know. Now, we don't know. If it is happening now, we don't know. Because we are receiving light normally. That is what happens. Okay? So, we are going to stop here. And in the next class, we'll write a note on lunar eclipse and then move on to the next. Remember, we have 3 evidence. We have 3 evidence. We have done the first one. We are doing the second one. And we'll say to the third one. Abi? Good. So I will see you when I see you. Or the next teacher is not here. So let me answer those questions. Let me just answer those questions. Let me just answer them, okay? Let me just answer them. So, Uncle, do human beings absorb light when they form shadow? And if yes, how? Please, we don't absorb light. What we do is what? We reflect what? Light. We reflect light. The teacher is already coming. Uncle, this shadow of 18 is confusing, oh. Why is it that my shadow is taller than my real self? Because I'm losing it right now. Please continue losing it. Sir, please, why is it that street lights is off during the day and on its own turn on at night? It is because of the sensors that are inside, okay? There are sensors that are inside that knows when it is day and when it is night. Even if there is no sensor, they can put a timer. Once the timer gets to so and so time, it would come on, okay? Your uncle is already here. Last question. Uncle, is it true albinos don't die but disappear? Because I have never seen their poster. You know, we are going to get to heaven one day, Abi. Some of these questions that you have now that are impossible, when you get to heaven, ask Angel Michael or God.